All right, so the hosts at Fox News are continuing to support Israel's relentless bombing campaign against innocent civilians in Gaza. And in this clip, they might have let it hang out a little bit too much. Watch this.
I understand what the administration is trying to do. They have a lot of pressure within their party that says, hey, put the handcuffs on Israel. Don't let them bomb people. Well, this is a part of war. This is a part of, how many children died in Iraq and Afghanistan as casualties? But you know what? There were also children that didn't have a problem putting on a suicide vest out there and murdering our guys as well. We need to be serious about the ideology that we're facing. If we're not, more Jews will die here in America. More Americans will die as a result, and we can have the next 9/11. This is not an ideology that you can negotiate with. This is not an ideology that you can pray with and think that they're going to change their mind. It is deeply rooted in who they are, and we should confront them the same way.
So the children have it coming. Hey, some children are suicide bombers. The kids have it coming. And why is that? I mean, look, we killed a lot of kids in Iraq and Afghanistan. Yeah, that was bad. Those were war crimes. In a world that made sense where international law was upheld, Bush and Cheney would be rotting in The Hague forever. He brings it up like, well, I don't understand. This is the same argument we've heard time and time again. Well, after 9/11, the U.S. got to do whatever it wanted to do. Nobody's calling for a ceasefire. Yeah, but they should have been. By the way, people were. There were people in the street protesting saying, don't do the war in Iraq, don't do the war in Afghanistan. But yeah, in the halls of power, nobody was saying, hey, don't do this, except Barbara Lee, credit to her. But more people should have been saying that. They should have been saying that. That's the problem, is that as a direct result of 9/11 and the neocons' plans, what did we do? We did Abu Ghraib. We did Guantanamo Bay. We did a torture of innocent people. We illegally and offensively invaded multiple countries that didn't attack us, including Iraq, where Saddam Hussein had nothing to do with 9/11, nothing to do with Osama bin Laden. They were enemies. And then we moved the goalposts and said, well, he's got weapons of mass destruction. Maybe he's going to attack us. That was total bullshit. Then we moved the goalposts again to he's just a bad guy. So we had to do it. Every step of the way, people should have been screaming at us, don't do this. This is bad. This is wrong. This is unacceptable. This is illegal. He's looking at that same time frame and coming to the exact opposite conclusion. No, let them go. Let them do what they're going to do. You can't negotiate with these people. You can't talk to these people. And the kids sometimes wear suicide vests, so don't reel them in. Let them do it. 4,421 kids are dead. 9,000 innocent civilians are dead. They bombed every kind of civilian infrastructure you can imagine. They've destroyed over 50% of Gaza, and now they're annexing half of it and saying, we're going to, for an indefinite period, we'll take care of this here. They look at 17 different international laws being violated, and they turn around and go, I see no problem. I see no problem. I hate this kind of thinking because it's like you shut your brain off and it's just, I'm on this team. I'm on this side. Guys, that's the dumbest way you could possibly think. You have to think in terms of international law and principles. So, for example, when Hamas waged their terror attack on October 7th, we criticized it immediately because there were many innocent civilians who were killed. That's unacceptable. Those are war crimes. That's grotesque and brutal and wrong. They should be tried as a result of that. Like I said, go after the Hamas leaders in Qatar, pay off the Qatari government, and go take care of the Hamas leaders. That's because I'm thinking about this in terms of principles. So I can criticize Hamas, but also criticize the IDF and Netanyahu and Likud and the far right in Israel who are running the show and who are warmongers and bloodthirsty. If you can't do that, then just step aside. This isn't for you. This isn't for you, but this is where we're at. Now Fox News is cheerleading an Israeli slaughter of innocent Palestinians because, I don't know, we killed a lot of kids in Iraq and Afghanistan. I guess he thinks that was a good thing. And, I don't know, sometimes some kids wear suicide vests, so you got to kill over 4,000 children. And also, I hate it when people pretend. It is the dumbest, lowest IQ take imaginable. They're like, well, there's nothing we can do about any of this because that's just what, it is what it is. And they're just evil people doing evil things. Really? You're satisfied intellectually with that answer. These are just evil people doing evil things. That's it. So at no point, by the way, if you knew the history of this, there were multiple times where we actually were close to some semblance of a peace deal. There's a great PBS Frontline documentary on this where they go into excruciating detail. We had a number of times where the Israeli side and the Palestinian side were very close. The Oslo Accords, Arafat was for a while a partner for peace. Everything sort of fell apart at the last minute. But you had Ehud Barak was looking for peace. Perez was looking for peace. Rabin was looking for peace. And by the way, he was assassinated by the Israeli far right because he was willing to do a real deal. And so there was a number of times we were actually close. And everything fell apart. Netanyahu is one of the main reasons why everything fell apart. Because when he got into office, he was not interested in peace in any serious way. And so he sort of blew up everything. But the idea that, like, these are just evil people doing evil things and that's why they do it, and that's the end of the conversation. Like, you're actively trying to be unintelligent if you make that point. If the more you learn about the history of it, the more you go all the way back to the Balfour Declaration and, like, you see, oh my God, you can trace exactly how we got where we are. And there's multiple times along the way where it's okay, well, if we got involved here and we did this differently or that differently, things could be very, very different today. But he's actively turning his brain off, just going, they're evil, we're good. They're pure evil, we're pure good. That's the end of the conversation. Let's move along. You want to kill some kids? Go right ahead. Some kids are suicide bombers, so go ahead and kill some kids. We killed them in Iraq and Afghanistan, so you can go ahead and kill them here. It's literally a green light for genocide. Call it what it is. If this was people in their family, how furious would they be? How furious? You don't care about my grandma, my brother, my sister, my mom, my son, my daughter. Their lives matter. But for Palestinian lives, they don't matter. They don't matter because they're bad people. Something. Absolutely grotesque and pathetic. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.